TikTok needs no introduction. It's a platform that basically took over the world during lockdown since people were stuck at home and had nothing to do. And although this platform seems pretty harmless on the surface level, there is just one problem. It exists on the internet. The internet is a place that since the very beginning has been no stranger to weird individuals, illegal content, and more. On almost every platform, people have accidentally found odd posts that pulled them into a rabbit hole. With that being said, welcome to TikTok's most disturbing accounts. Mystica. This is the name of an account that I can't really explain the content of. Their first post was on the 12th of June 2025. It looks like a weird, distorted slideshow, almost as if someone was recording their TV with a phone. The second video is in better quality, but still just a slideshow. But the third post is where things started to get weird. What the hell? When I first stumbled upon this account, I thought it was just some type of ARG, but the thing is that ARGs usually tell some type of story. This account, well, it just keeps on posting senseless and almost unnerving fashion videos. Another reoccurring theme I see is the usage of these specific hashtags. The person in these videos poses in front of mannequins and almost tries to make themselves look sexual, if that makes sense. As I kept scrolling upwards, the person visited other places to record. Forests, abandoned buildings. Okay, I need to get to the bottom of this. Doing just a little bit of digging reveals this Reddit post that I found on Internet Mysteries about the same account that I showed. The whole account is just of this person who, in every video, is dressed up very uniquely and always wears some sort of face covering, usually a very unsettling mask that looks like either latex or looks as if it had been ripped off a mannequin. Speaking of, nearly all the videos also usually contain multiple mannequins beside the person. They all have very unsettling faces. A lot of the videos are accompanied by a very jarring white noise, the usual type of sounds you get on creepy internet videos, but some also have a variation of electronic type beats. They started posting in early June 2025 and have been posting pretty consistently up until today as of now, 21st January 2026. It could easily be some weird sort of art project. However, it has hardly any recognition and no sort of promotion for any artist name, especially with each video getting around 10 to 20 likes. I don't know, the TikTok algorithm handed me this and I was creeped out and I wanted to know others' thoughts on it. And finally, we get an answer. This is a mannequin slash female transformation fetishist. As far as I remember, his post first got noticed during quarantine around 2020. He has multiple accounts on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. He deletes them often. This is the oldest I can find. He gained some short notoriety in Lithuanian online circles after someone posted his TikToks on a popular Discord server. People were really bored during quarantine, so they tracked down where he lives from the videos he posted. I remember photos of his face being posted too. After people figured out who he is, the interest died down. He was a niche internet meme in Lithuania for a short time. He seems pretty harmless, haven't heard of him replying to messages or anything similar, seems to post only for his own pleasure. Also reposts old or re-edited videos on his multiple accounts often. In 2024, in the same city where he was confirmed to live, a 9-year-old girl was kidnapped. Some Facebook detectives started posting his videos saying that he was the kidnapper. I think his videos were even shown on the news. There was no evidence that he was involved. The girl was later found alive and the actual kidnapper was caught. ASFR, or Alt Fetish Robot. Basically, this person, like many others out there, is extremely obsessed with mannequins to the point that they want to become a mannequin. They want to stand perfectly still, have a blank face, wear stiff clothes, and look like they are made out of plastic. Some more reasons that go more into the mental side of it are
control and stillness. Being a mannequin means having no feelings, no stress, no choices. For some people, this idea feels relaxing or safe. Being looked at without judgment, a mannequin is stared at, but cannot feel embarrassed. Some people find that freeing. Remember back in COVID when you wear a mask and would walk past people whilst making a weird face under the mask? This is essentially the same thing, but even more extreme. Loss of identity. Becoming an object means you stop being yourself. For some, this is deeply appealing because of the stress of the day-to-day life. Influenced by fiction, many people in this community grew up watching movies or cartoons where people turned into statues or dolls. It became connected to excitement in their brain at a young age.
And a potential reason behind this page may also be proof. Proof that they're showing the world or themselves that the transformation feels real. The video is the, quote, evidence that they look like a mannequin. As weird and creepy as this sounds, as the list goes on, we will come to learn that TikTok can get even creepier. Well, shit. There go 3 months of my life. Content creation on this specific platform can be a nightmare sometimes. I double checked that I didn't leave anything bad uncensored, and still, I get instantly demonetized, whilst there are some channels out there making explicit kids content, which I went over in a previous video. I created something called Bizerv TV. Bizerv TV is my very own platform where you're able to support me and maximize the rewards you get for it. For $5 a month, you get early access to my upcoming videos without any annoying ads like these, behind the scenes breakdowns, and original documentaries exclusively available for members only. And to celebrate the opening of this new platform, you can either use code OPENING75 at checkout for 75% off your first 2 months, making it $125, or you can get a 7-day free trial. But seriously though, I have so many plans for the site, which includes stuff like licensing some of my creator friends, as well as other creators you might not know that have a unique story to tell. At 30 members, you guys will also be getting Steam game keys at the end of the month, which is kind of exciting honestly. There's so many amazing and interesting documentaries over there out right now that I'm sure you'd love, and those videos, just like this channel, can only keep going with your support. So if you can, feel free to head over to bizerv.tv and get your 7-day free trial, or use the coupon code on screen for 75% off your first 2 months. And let's get back into the video. Gang stalking. One of the most terrifying situations to be in. Imagine if every single thing you did was surveilled. If they know where you live and watch you without you knowing. You did something wrong. Now you're a targeted individual. This is what people believe when they say they're being gang stalked. More specifically, this is what
Dangwanjium55555
believes is happening to them right now. Their username references Tangun, the founder and first king of Goju Seon, the first Korean kingdom. And their content is interesting to say the least. Let's stop scrolling for a bit. Okay, so the Yusan are indigenous people mainly located in the Madang province of Papua New Guinea. With a count of approximately 3,800 people, it is by no means a big ethnic group. And whilst researching a bit more, I found a Reddit post on r/ARG. It reads the following. Early this year, while I was scrolling through TikTok, I came across a very strange account that goes by the name of
Dangwanjium55555.
Their videos are very strange and overall pretty distorted. I decided to dig further, suspecting this might be an ARG. This is what me and my friends figured out throughout some of the videos so far. Some of his videos were removed, but might still be on his Instagram and YouTube that he apparently has. The poster, whom I will call Dangoon, is apparently a person living in the UK and is of an ethnicity called Yusan, in which said ethnicity is being persecuted and oppressed by the South Korean government. Many of his videos he described being spied on and disturbed by South Korean spies who want him dead because of his ethnicity. from some of the other videos, we found out that Dangun believes in this divine being called Hanaru Solm or Hanaru Ol Solm and is supposedly actively communicating with it or him. The mythology provided by Dangun stated that the Hanaru Solm created the earth and life, particularly starting on the Ulleungdo Island, which is a real island off the coast of South Korea and had a real small kingdom called Usan-guk in the 6th century before being emptied, which is implied to be the Usan people's kingdom. The language in the videos, alongside English, appears to be a language called Usan language that uses the same script as Korean, but from my native Korean friend, he said that it is mostly intelligible and uses many old Korean letters that are no longer used in modern time. And as of yesterday, we have found another account that follows the same editing pattern as Dangun's and has explicitly mentioned that they're affiliated with Dangun. Okay, so it turns out that this person has 2 more accounts on Instagram and a second TikTok account, or at least that this person is affiliated with them. And one thing I accidentally swept past was the fact that this person also has a blogspot. And while the posts are pretty meaningless, we can see the quote divine being part being brought up here again. So this is the Hanaru Solm O Sum apparently, but unfortunately I can't really give a full translation since putting it in Google Translate reveals nothing. Google Translate thinks that this is traditional Chinese and the drop-down menu doesn't show me a Yusan language. This is really the only logical thing I can find. Aside from that, the posts are the user pretending that someone is spying on him. And upon checking some more comments on his TikTok page as well as the Reddit post, people concluded that he's mentally ill and seriously needs help, while some other people believe it is an ARG, even going as far as to start a Discord server to collect information as well as messaging him to get more info. But honestly, the messages here don't make a lot of sense, and even if it were an ARG, then people would have at least gotten a proper timeline or something sensical at the very least. This account has been posting since 2025, and nothing really came out of it. So unfortunately, we'll have to go by the assumption that this person is a schizophrenic. And if this is the case, I truly hope they find help and peace someday. Because even if it is just a mental thing, the very feeling that you're being spied on 24/7 can break a person. Similar to Chip Chan, who believed she was being controlled by a corrupt police officer. Rachel Queen Burton is a trans TikToker where, at first, you wouldn't notice anything wrong with her content. She turned trans and is now living her life and showing the world what it's like to be trans. But this isn't the entire picture, because you see, Rachel is a pedophile. Sometime around 2019, Rachel was actively abusing 2 children, and although certain media outlets have paywalled the full case, based on the charges, we can assume that Rachel did the following: gross indecency, as well as directing or coercing a child to sexually manipulate another child into performing explicit acts, which were later recorded. After the mother of the children found out what was happening, she fled the area with her children, but Rachel was still following them. It got so unnerving for them that at one point the mother and her children were residing in a police-issued safe house, only to discover that Rachel kept showing up at the window, peeking in. The mother kept on running to different places and described the experience in a tragic way, saying that her family had, quote, no food and scared children, and that they were too scared to go anywhere, which ultimately pushed the family to homelessness. And then, during late 2021, Rachel started her TikTok page and presented herself as a, quote, proud trans woman with no regrets. Her account amassed over 36,000 followers and 418,000 likes. The whole time Rachel was getting TikTok fame, the victim's family hadn't reported the incident to the police. Yet. Rachel was finally arrested in October of 2022 by the elite Joint Anti-Child Exploitation Team in Australia. It turned out that Rachel had traumatized this family so much that during their whole fleeing process, they were traveling between rural and regional South Australia, Rachel showed up virtually to court on a laptop from a male prison and was facing a bunch of charges, and they tried to initially deny any allegations. But after looking into the contents of her laptop, justice finally came as Rachel pleaded guilty to aggravated counts of producing and possessing CSAM, gross indecency, and indecent assault.
I am still famous. I am still number one. I am still the queen. And then, my name will be loud. I will be famous. I will be known, very well known.
You are the monster. You make me feel sick to my stomach. You are a gross, phony, self-indulgent thing who has cheated my children out of so much, and took it away from them without care. In your online rants, you showed no remorse for your bad behavior, all while knowing what you had done.
Alice Michael Joseph Atwood is a 36-year-old trans TikToker. On their TikTok page, you'll see videos of them reading cards, showing off their artworks. They also engage with their community on Twitch as well as giving life updates. But Alice has a dark past, one that doesn't easily go away with time. On the 22nd of February of this year, Alice would make a post different from their usual posts, one that was extremely disturbing.
And a year ago today, I saw my daughter and scraped my son's arm. I thought I was protecting them. I don't know if I made the right decision or I made the wrong decision. Obviously it's the wrong decision for me, but from what I know is they are healthy and they are happy and they are safe right now. And that's better than they were a year ago today. I wasn't in a position to take care of myself properly. I am now. That's good for me.
This clip already sounds extremely disturbing and concerning given the fact that Alice admitted to stabbing their daughter and scraping their son's arm. And given the things they say, like expecting the best life and care for their children and being able to take better care of themselves now, you'd think that this incident would have a somewhat neutral ending. I mean, sure, the kids are potentially traumatized now of what happened to them, but it seems like Alice isn't with them anymore and they're potentially getting taken care of by either Alice's partner, parents maybe, or someone reliable. But no, that's not everything. On the 19th of February 2025, 2 children in Grande Prairie were stabbed. The person who committed the crime was charged with aggravated assault and a non-fatal charge, but to protect the identities of the children, a publication ban was put on the person's name, meaning that their name couldn't be written on any articles. So for a while, no one from the public really knew who the Grande Prairie stabber was. But a year later, in March of 2026, a different media outlet published an article with similar contents, this time giving us a more detailed look as to who it was. It turns out this was more than just a, quote, stab. Alice's 8-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son were both assaulted in their bedrooms. And although this does align with Alice's story, one important detail that they didn't mention was that their daughter's throat was slashed so severely to the point that she had to be airlifted and had to be tube fed for months. And although their son suffered minor injuries, it was by no means a, quote, scrap, as he was still injured by the same kitchen knife used on his sister. Alice would proceed to clean the knife and then call the police on themselves, admitting to the assault that they had done. In live streams that were named by media outlets but not shown in the articles, Alice apparently tried to excuse their actions by claiming that they were in a state of mental instability. And after only 2 days of being in police custody, Alice would be let go and granted bail, roaming the streets while their daughter was in the hospital receiving emergency surgery and being tube fed. And as of now, Alice is sentenced to 5 years in prison, and a forensic psychiatrist found out that there were no serious signs of mental illness, but that they showed borderline personality traits and emotional instability. The borderline personality traits may explain why Alice transitioned, but by no means excuse their actions. The defense claimed that Alice's cannabis usage to suppress their gender identity issues caused an episode which the judge said could explain why Alice did it, but followed it up by saying that it doesn't justify what they had done, as they themselves made the choice to use cannabis despite needing to care for 2 children. And now, when we go back to Alice's video with the full picture, we can clearly see how this is just a victimization of the events, with Alice talking about themselves more than their children, and even mentioning at the end how they thought they were protecting their children from something dangerous, as well as pointing out how they're able to take care of themselves now. This is by far the most disturbing thing we came across whilst making this video, as we get to see the mental instability of a person who was potentially trying to unalive their kids, and then having to hear the countless times that they only mentioned themselves, something that almost all the comments on the video were saying too.
I think it's wild that people are like, we're gonna find you and we're gonna get you. I'm like, yo, I am a mentally unstable person who lives in a minivan, and I need a full psychiatric assessment. Like, I go around people when I have to.
The stock market is now down 21%. What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
2-year note yields went from 190 to 166.
It was the worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
TikTok is one of the biggest platforms in the world today. Similar to YouTube, there is really no limit to the content you can stumble across by complete coincidence. Sometimes you'll see a cringy dancing video, sometimes you'll see a cooking video, but sometimes you might just stumble across a completely random account posting some of the strangest and creepiest content, which somehow slipped its way into the algorithm. Today, we explored a handful of accounts that are exactly that: strange, disturbing, and not what they seem like on the surface level. This is the pilot episode to a new web series I plan on running on this channel. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know, and maybe someday soon we'll be coming back to this platform. But for now, thank you for watching, stay safe, and we'll see each other again.